I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
We keep it burning.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition, the last edition of the year, the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Phillips.
Episode 52. What it do?
Man, 52. And the Honorable E.T., Eric Thomas. E.T., the hip-hop preacher, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. Consistency.
What's going down? Y'all all right?
Yo, we great, man. Consistency, unbelievable.
Yeah, 52 weeks, man. That's big time, man. And we got a special guest in the building. Some call him White Lightning. Some call him the greatest player to never make the NBA D-League. We just call him Mr. Josh Hatch around here. Jay, what up, baby? How you feeling?
What's going on? Honored to be back, fellas.
Great to have you back, man. Listen, we got a new sponsor today, man. Shout out to Penn State World Campus, man. Allows you to earn your Penn State degree online from anywhere in the world with over 125 graduate and undergraduate degree and certification programs. They're ranked number 1 for online bachelor's degree, all right? Number 1 in the world, guys. They're also ranked in the top 10 online graduate programs in business, education, engineering, and technology, right? Are you a busy working adult and you want to advance your career or start fresh? You want to set your own pace to earn your degree? Couldn't finish your degree the first time? Listen, Penn State World Campus is the place for you. Learn how Penn State World Campus can help you reach your educational goals by visiting worldcampus.psu.edu. That's worldcampus.psu.edu, or give them a shout at 800-245-5518. So shout out to Penn State World Campus, man. Go get that degree. You know you've been waiting on it for a long time. 2017 is upon us. Go upgrade yourself, get that degree, and check out Penn State World Campus. All right, guys, let's jump into it. Real quick, man, I want to go into Am I Tripping real quick before I hear about your Christmas holidays and things of that nature. But am I tripping? And I know E might not be a part of this conversation because they've been married so long. And Josh, you've been married for a while too, so maybe it's just me and Carl. But am I tripping, or do you hate when your wife says, I don't want anything for Christmas? All right? And so Candace, I'm trying to figure out the whole week before Christmas, what do I get? So I'm asking her. I don't want anything. I promise I'm okay. Don't get me anything. But you know, without a doubt, she's lying. So I did end up going to get her something. It worked out. Josh was with me. Josh, she loved the watch. We made that happen in short notice. But definitely got her to watch. She was geeked up. But I was just sitting there and I was like, man, am I tripping, or do I have the only wife who act like she don't want nothing? But don't you dare on Christmas morning have nothing for her to open up. It could be me. Maybe I'm tripping, but that's my experience. I was just wondering what y'all wives said they wanted, and if they actually ever, birthday, anniversary, anything, actually tell you what they want. I'm waiting for the dude who's like, hey, baby, it's our anniversary coming up. What would you like? Hey, I want some earrings, and I want to go to the movies, and I want a new pair of shoes. All right, cool, let's go. Like, I just don't ever see that happen. So I'm curious as to y'all Christmas and what y'all did for y'all wives.
That's all. Hey, I'm with you. It's always a guessing game, but this year my wife and I actually decided let's make it about the kids. So we literally made the plan like, yo, let's not do nothing. Let's focus completely on the kids. And y'all know my son's birthday is Friday, so he got the Christmas and the birthday boy. So we just like, let's make this week special for them. So I got to pass on this one. So, but on a regular one, like, yeah, no, it's always the guessing game.
Yeah, see, I say that too. I'll be like, yo, let's focus on the kids, the parents, let's bless people. You know what I'm saying? We can do all of that. I promise you, the one time that I don't bring that gift, I'm talking about she looking like a sad puppy dog. I'm like, nope, I will not get beat with that again. I think I got beat with it one time back in the day. I'm like, nope, never again. So I'm with you, Carl. It sounds good. And I'm really good with not having nothing. Like, I promise you,
No time.
I don't really need anything. There's no hidden agenda with me. I'm straight up. I don't want nothing. I don't need nothing. I got everything I need. Don't give me nothing. Like, I'm cool, but I know deep down she's not. So I had to still come with it. Josh?
CJ, I learned this lesson. Yeah, I learned this lesson a couple years ago. So we did the same thing where we talked about let's do it for the kids. Let's focus on the kids. Let's not get each other anything. Christmas rolls around. We're sitting around the tree. Heather walks off in the other room for a second. Kids are smiling. They're behind this with Heather. She walks in with a gift for me. So now I'm the guy the only one without a gift.
I wouldn't have opened it.
Yeah.
Flat out.
But
I'd have been like, yo, throw it in the fireplace.
Yep, and Heather said, I noticed you needed some of this. So she gave a gift. So since then, I realized we've always at least have to have one go-to.
That's when you try to run upstairs and find something random to wrap real quick. You're like,
I tried to.
Hey, by the way,
I
we
started
need
to
eggs
panic.
and milk. I'm going to go out. I think there's one store open. And then try to find something at the convenience store. He's like, look, I got you some batteries, all right?
No question. But this year I was with you last second.
Yep.
And I didn't. We were both scrambling, trying to figure out,
Hey,
a
Josh,
great
my wife listens to
gift
the
last second.
podcast, FYI. Let's not.
I know.
Scrambling last minute.
Yeah. That's right. So how about that? So but you even one up me. So you got the watch. Yeah. I turned around, didn't do anything, and the next day at 8 a.m. I was back at the mall buying a gift.
Yeah, I know you texted me with Hudson said we on our way to the mall go make this thing happen. I was like, whoa, on Christmas Eve. That's savage.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I'm in your same boat. See, I'm in your same boat. Yeah. I don't ever know what I should get.
Flat out, you got to get something.
Yeah, it don't got nothing to do with years. My girl be on that, same thing, Josh. But I'm way, ahead of the game. But I'm gonna tell you this: this was the craziest Christmas that I've ever experienced, Josh, and my wife's, true Christmas, spirit came out. Of course, my kids are what you would consider adults now, so my wife got up like 6:30. My wife works, so not only does my wife go to work, like she's wired to work. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't care if she's off for a week, she's still getting up at work time. You know what I'm saying? That's just her thing. So she got up. I'm talking about, man, we packed. It's just crazy, man. I'm like, they grown. Why are we doing all of this? And of course we bought, our God baby stuff, just different stuff, right? And so we woke up that morning. She woke up at 6:30. Of course, I was already up, but she woke up about 6:30, ready to do breakfast, the whole nine, got the presents or whatever. My son probably came to the crib about noon. You know what I'm saying? My man got there about noon. My daughter, a freshman, she finally at home. She probably woke up about 11:15. My wife scrambling around the house at 6 something in the morning doing breakfast, waiting for everybody to get up. I'm like, I promise you that's not happening. But hey, go for it. And so, of course, they opened up their gifts finally. And my wife said, next year, I'm renting kids. She's like, I'm renting kids because she's so used to, the kids waking up early and doing their gifts, and now that they're adults, they're not waking up. So I'm dying laughing like, all right, so not only do I have to buy gifts next year, I got to find some kids and the unfortunate kids or something, let them spend a night, 2 nights before, you know what I'm saying, do all of that, and then boom, wake up Christmas and let them do that whole night. So not only was it about gifts, my wife, man, I realized this year that the experience, like she likes the whole, everybody getting up in the morning, everybody eating breakfast. We have a big worship. Everybody open up their gifts. She does the video recording of it, send it to her mom, my mom. So I didn't realize it was that bad, but it looked like it's getting worse now, Josh, that the kids are grown.
No, I'm hoping. I'm hoping to keep some traditions going myself, and I'm glad to see Didi kept the traditions, man, because. It's a sad day, man, when you're not with your fam. I actually flew my parents down here to have Christmas with all of us. We were supposed to go back, but with all the traveling we did to Australia and stuff like that, man, Candace was like, nope, it's too much. Have mom and dad come down here. We need to stay home for a while. So we stayed in Atlanta, where it was a balmy, like 75 degrees on Christmas Day, man. And when you from the Midwest, that is not Christmas weather. So my dad made a snowman with Trey out of like a white trash bag and a hat and some other stuff, man. So
I think Carl,
no
we was
doubt,
like
man.
at 61, right?
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
It got warm
no
here
snow.
too.
Yeah, it was like 60 degrees, bro. It was a crazy Christmas.
No, it is. It's unfortunate too, but y'all did have snow though, right?
No, not on Christmas Day. Like it had rain or whatever. during the
Oh,
week.
really?
So yeah, we didn't have no
Oh, you
snow.
couldn't even get a white Christmas?
Yeah, I mean we had a white 4-5 days or a week or two before Christmas. I guess it came too early. The snow came about a week or two early, and then actually Christmas Day. Not even now, it's like it's gonna be 36, 40s going into the New Year, so it's not gonna be no snow, all of this week. So that's kind of weird. Like I said, it came a little early this year.
Yeah, no doubt. Got you. Well, I wanted to, it's crazy because the last 2 years we came home and I was looking forward to taking Trey sledding and getting in the snow and all of that. And then this year we decide we're not going to go up there for Christmas. And of course, y'all had a bunch of snow this year, or at least around Christmas time. So I can't win, man. My son has still never really seen snow, and I know he'll love it. So I might have to take him up to Stone Mountain where they got the fake snow and you can go sledding and do all of that. As soon as my shoulder heal up, I'm gonna be out there. The other exciting thing before Christmas, if we could backtrack, we had the album listening party on Friday, which was incredible, man. Shout out to everybody. We had a few thousand people tune in on the live stream. The people that we actually had in the building at Patchwork, we got a chance to unveil the new album. It was insane. The reviews are crazy. Like I said, man, sonically just the best project we've ever done by far. For those of you who heard it, and I'm sure most of you listening to the podcast probably heard it already, and are listening to it now and letting it fuel your workouts. It's just an incredible album, man, and the guys, the producers, Patchwork, they did an amazing job, just making that thing sound just as pristine as possible. So that was another amazing part of the Christmas break. Anything else I missed, guys? Did we miss anything about the Christmas break before we jump into what we got for today?
Hey, I didn't give y'all the full story, man. I needed some Tylenol and Teraflu for Christmas. My whole family was sick, literally.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Jordan
Yep,
had
you did say that.
yeah, my man got a fever like 102 Christmas morning. Now the good thing is, that nobody was like bed sick. Like everybody was like not feeling good, but still up and around sick. You know what I'm saying? So we still had Christmas, we still had fun. But literally everybody in the house was sick with a cold or flu or something, man. But we made the best out of it. We just made that day as much fun as we could.
Yeah, no doubt. That's literally the worst, man. When you got you know what I'm saying, the flu on Christmas. Come on, man. That don't even make sense. But glad to see everybody's back to health now, and we're gonna march forward, and the new year's gonna be we're bringing in health into the new year. So, real quick, man, I got a couple things today, and I want to ask each of you a question, but I think I'll wait, and I want to talk about real quick resolutions. I was at the gym. What was it? Yeah, I just got back to the gym. Yesterday, day before yesterday. So Tuesday was my first day back to the gym since my shoulder operation, and I'm sitting there and I'm on the stairmaster actually, and there was a guy next to me and he was talking to somebody on the phone or something, and he was like, "Yeah, I got it in again last night, and I can't put that bottle down. Seemed like." And he was like, "But it's all good. Come the first, I'm done." And I was just like, I was sitting there and I'm like, shoot, I know we do this every year, and we roll around to January 1st. And some of us do the resolution thing, some of us don't. And he said it, and he was like, "Man, I had bought a big old bottle and da-da-da-da-da, but, come the first, I'm done." And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I wonder if he's really done. One, not as any of my business, to be honest with you, but I wonder if he's really done. And I wonder what it is about the first. Do you think there's a power in saying, okay, it's the brand new start of a year, it's a brand new me, I can turn this page, I can kind of go with it? Or do you think it's an artificial kind of, false sense of security in thinking that just because the first rolls around, you're going to stop with this? Now, we know a lot of people with the exercise and stuff, the gym, January 2nd, the gym is like Mardi Gras, right? And then by, February 15th, that joint then relaxed a little bit. But do you think I'm curious to you guys, do you think there's power in the resolution of January 1st? We're a couple days out now from January 1st. Do you have any resolutions? And do you think there is something magical about the rolling over of the calendar into 2017?
So I'll start, man. So I don't think there's anything magical. I do think like there's seasons for stuff. So just like there's a feeling around Christmas that you can't deny. I don't care where you are. There's a feeling around Christmas. People are talking more, especially in the Midwest up here. Like I'm talking about, you don't, like when it get cold for real, like we joke, you don't see your neighbors again till like May. Like literally, like we not seeing you. And if we seeing you, like we going by you so quick. Like it's not really, but Christmas week, that week, leading up to Christmas, that week after Christmas, you seeing people in the mall, they're stopping, they're smiling. So there's something about it that I think can be used to your advantage. But then the reality sets in for me is that you are still who you are. And you've been doing you for however old you are, 30, 40, 50. You are you. So there's not this magic trick that because the new year is going to start, that all of a sudden you can, just drop habits that you created for the last 30, 40 years. It's not like I'm being realistic now. So it's kind of to double the question. For me, see, I always try to focus on adding or removing just one thing. So like, what the philosophy I have is like, if you start working out seriously, and of course we use a lot of health references, but if you start working out seriously, you start hooping, whatever, seriously, do you realize that it changes your entire life just by adding one little thing to the day? Because now you got to get up at a different, like it's a different hour. Let's just say it's an hour you're working out, an hour you're reading, an hour, whatever you're doing. It's an additional hour now that you're inserting into your day that was not there before. So it forces everything else in your life to shift. So for me, that's the thing that I always do. Like, let me just figure out what's that thing that I need to add this year that just shifts my life. And not, you know what I'm saying? Not like I'm never going to do this again. I'm never eating meat again. Like I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll get there someday. But as of now, it's like, let's just do that one small step. And E always says it's something that I know I can continue. So E does the walking. You know what I'm saying? Like just something that I know I could continue at least. And then for us, the beautiful thing is we're in a community that will hold you accountable. So come February, we're going to be asking each other, hey, you still exercising? Are you still hooping like you said you would? Are you still reading the book a week or whatever? So that's my thing. Like, I think you just insert one thing, remove one little thing, not no big monstrous change. You was doing it all year long, and all of a sudden, like, I'm never doing it again. Like, that's not a philosophy that I live by. I just try to insert that one thing that I think will have the ripple effect throughout the year.
Yeah, I'm going to be real. See, we've been around sports a lot. And there is something to be said about, a season being over and you starting a new season. You and Jalen do it all the time with the Lions. You know what I'm saying? When there's a new season, y'all like, this is the year. It's kind of like, a momentum shift, if you will. So
you broke the golden rule. We were not to mention the Lions on the podcast. Not one dog.
Oh, we ain't mentioning the Lions. Yeah, we just talking about you and Jalen and starting all over again. You know what I'm saying, for the new year.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying?
You
So,
got me scared.
and you guys do it every year. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a new start.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a fresh start. And I don't think it makes a difference if your team won the Super Bowl, that year. You're excited because you're thinking they're going to do it again. You know what I'm saying? So, or if your team went 0 and whatever, you kind of like, we got a new start. So I think there is something to say about, momentum. I'm not really getting into January 1st per se, but there is something about a momentum, especially if you've not had, the most phenomenal year, if it didn't look the way you thought it should look. I think there is something to be said, like, we got a clean slate. We got a fresh start. It's a clean canvas. And from this point forth, I had the power to kind of create it. Whereas like you get into June, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot that took place. It's kind of hard to start all over again. It's like, okay, let's fix it. But it's hard to start over again. So I do think there's
already
a power.
0-8. You know what I'm saying? It ain't looking up.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's for real, for some teams in different sports, by the time you get halfway through, it's kind of, your destiny is kind of, scripted. Like, okay, we're not gonna make this, or if we do it, we're gonna be wild card. It's not like, so I think there is a power in it. Here's the deal though. I think it really depends on the individual and capitalizing on that momentum shift. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's a big thing. I was watching the Golden State Cleveland game, watching the Cowboys line, just different games I watch. Maybe a box. I was watching UFC the other night, and you can see like a call, or you can see a play or something that happens that shifts the momentum. And depending on the other team, it's kind of like, they got broke when that momentum shift. And it could be a bad call, it could be a big play, but you see that momentum shift, and it's just like, whoa, Either man, they about to win or they about to lose. So I think it depends on, the individual, but definitely January 1st is an opportunity to get a clean slate, at least mentally. See, like your life, your bank account ain't changed; it's still the same. Like they're about to put a whole bunch of money in your account or whatever, but it is an opportunity to mentally, to psychologically say, yo, I got a new start and I'm about to turn up.
Yeah, I agree with everything he just said. And I just think it depends on the person, depends on the situation. I don't think a resolution for resolution's sake gets you anywhere. So when the person is ready, when the person is ready to change, they can change, whether that's June or January. But there's no question that there is a certain level of accountability, a certain like he said, you get a clean slate to work off of. So mentally, you're more clear than you have been. You get the holidays to probably slow down a little bit and reflect on what's important. Mid-year, you don't get that time because you're just in the hustle of every day. But it really just depends on the person. And I think that, again, like I just said, a resolution for resolution's sake doesn't get you anywhere. But when you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, no matter what time of year, you'll make a change. And more people probably are sick and tired of being sick and tired through the holidays as they sit and reflect on it.
Yeah, I think that's deep what you said too, Josh. And I just want to make sure that the listeners catch it. It's probably the only back-to-back holiday we have, the entire year, Josh. Like, you got whatever, and I don't care what kind of job you have, you probably gonna get a couple days off for Christmas, and then not even a week later, you get 2 or 3 more. So I know my wife, for instance, like she probably went in 2 days last week, 2 days this week, and that was it. So you do get a lot more time of reflection. And again, like C said with the dude, that was drinking, and again, it's just my little personal opinion, but I just think too many people, Josh, don't take advantage of this opportunity. It's like turn up. It's like some people are so, into the celebratory mindset that they're not even sober enough, to use this time as reflection. But if you choose to say, hey, I got a couple extra days to reflect, write down my dreams and goals, get with my accountability group, whatever, I'm not saying you don't have no fun, but I think some people just turn up too much and they use the free time just for partying and not use some of it to say, what do I need to do to make sure next year? Because I came into last year like this. I was turned up in 2015, 2014, 2013. My turn up need to be different this time, and it needs to really be about taking a little time and thinking about what do I need to do because it only takes a spark to get a fire going. So how can this new year spark, that fire for 2017?
Yeah, and I want you to stay on that because I think the spark and the fire is not the problem, right?
Yeah.
It's keeping the
Keeping
flames
it blazed.
lit. Like,
yeah.
I think that's the tough part. Most people, I think, do end up being very optimistic about a new year. And, just as to my input, on the conversation or whatever, I do feel like there is something special about, January 1st and having that, that blank canvas. Now, obviously, everything you guys said is absolutely true. And, a lot of people don't stick with it. But I do think that there is a refreshing quality about saying, hey, let me see if I can do something for 365 days. Let me see if I can change a habit. Let me see if I can lose a habit. Let me see if I can, gain, a new positive habit, whatever it is. I do feel like January 1st is a great time for that because it's a clear mile marker of since this day, I haven't had a drink. Since this day, I've read every single day. Since this day, I've worked out every single day. Like there is something about that. I think, and that's, obviously what you're one of the best in the world at doing is the spark is not the problem. Everybody got this whole, I'm about to, do this. What do they do to keep the fire lit? And of course, they'll continue to listen to the podcast, so you'll continue to have nuggets throughout the year. But like, how do you stay, okay, so I'm about to, at my job, I'm about to give 120 at my job, and you're giving 120 at your job for 2 months and 3 months. And then right around April, May, you don't get the promotion. You get passed by the third time for that promotion. How do you stay on fire for the rest of the year? When you put that effort forward and you got that flame and that spark and you carry that energy and it still doesn't look the way you thought it should look.
Yeah, I think it's what Josh said though. It's like January 1st, and Christmas is kind of like built in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say it's easy to do, but it's easier because that holiday is built in for you. That time frame is built in for you. You get 3-4 days for Christmas, 2 or 3 days for the New Year, so And I don't know if it's strategic or not, but the way, everything is done, it's like, it's easy for you to start all over again. I think what's challenging is they don't necessarily make it that easy, in March. And then they don't make it that easy in April. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be a little bit more intentional and deliberate about starting all over again from fresh. And for me, guys, and I'm just, I use everything I learn, as a lesson, if you will. But I think Tom Izzo is one of the best in terms of scoring after a timeout. And I think, Coach Izzo, that's one thing I've learned from him. Like, he's very intentional and deliberate about the way he uses timeouts. Like a lot of people use their timeouts on some like, okay, we down by 15, call the timeout. But Coach, they'll be up. You know what I'm saying? They'll be down. It'll be a tie, whatever. But he uses those timeouts, to actually create momentum. It's like, okay, timeout. And I saw it the other day. I thought it was sweet. I saw Tum Tum, come across, and I thought he was just going to go straight to the line and call the timeout. And Coach was like, nope, waste a couple minutes. Because it's like, the time was kind of winding out, maybe about 20-something seconds. Coach was like, let some of the time go off the clock, then call the timeout. And I think if you're going to be a momentum, expert, that's what you need to do. You need to say, okay, what happened in December and January that put me in a position to get this new start? Why was I so pumped up? And then what you need to do throughout the course of the year is just be intentional and deliberate about saying like, yo, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to put some more logs on the fire, to make sure that fire is blazing. And like you said, see, we're not trying to, this ain't no shameless plug, but if you find the podcast is one of those things that pump you up, if you find the resolution, somebody told me I'm on everything. They wanted to get their subwoofers and put them back in their whip, then do that. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like whatever it takes, whatever you have to listen to, an old mixtape, you got to get the first, the ET first original Secret to Success audio book, or maybe a chapter from, the Average Skill Phenomenal Will book, whatever. It's like there are things that that just get you going. Like Lauryn Hill, Miseducation just get me going. I was listening to Marvin Gaye, the number ones of Marvin Gaye. I want you to want me like I want you. You know what I'm saying? I was just listening to that stuff. I heard it through the grapevine, and it's like, what were you listening for, E? I was listening for one of the number one artists in the world, his number one hits. Like, what did he do? Was it the intro, the outro? Was it the live band? Was it the lyrics? What was it about Adele's 21? And that what was it about the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill? And I'm actually deliberately listening to the number one Michael Jackson number ones. What did he do? So not only does it spark me and like get me fired up, but it's also giving me clues. So what did the greats do? What did the great musicians all have in common? And for me, I'm listening like, ooh, all of them, it was a setback. All of them, they might have went through something and they used that tragedy and turned it into a number one hit. Marvin Gaye, what's going on? You make me want to holler, throw up both hands. So I'm just listening. It's like, but I'm being deliberate and intentional. I'm not just letting it come to me. I'm actually finding ways to recreate that spark and recreate that love.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. And I also think, when I think about keeping that spark and keeping that flame lit and things like that, and Carl kind of touched on it before, but man, if you are going to, either get rid of that vice or pick up a new habit, you're going to have to change your environment. And E, you talk about it a lot, and I want you to expand on it when I finish, but like, yo, you're not going to stop drinking. My man who was at the gym, you're not getting ready to stop drinking and keep that commitment if you're around the same homies you've been around the whole year 2016. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, you're going to inevitably be with them, and they might, I don't know what they got going on. They're going to watch the game, kick it, whatever, and they popping bottles, and you just going to sit there. You're going to have to change your circles and get around a crew that doesn't drink. Like, if you're going to accomplish your health goals in 2017 and you didn't accomplish them in 2016, you probably weren't hanging around a whole bunch of people that were physically fit in 2016. You need to go to the gym and befriend like that, young lady who just looked like she'd been in the gym every single day for the last 720 days, whatever it is. Like, you need to be around those type of people. So E, how important is it in order to keep our flame lit? Carl talked about the accountability. In order for us to keep that flyer through May, through June, through July, whatever, we're gonna keep that fire. How important is it to change our circle of influence?
You know, I mean, you just said it. See, I'm gonna keep that drinking lit if I'm around people who lit. You know what I'm saying? Like they lit, I'm lit. We gonna be lit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And so I think it's about, you know, not just changing your environment, but knowing like what do I want, and getting in the environments where, you know, people are doing that. You know, it's funny, man. We have brought, you know, certain people on the team, you know, and just having those individuals on the team has not only changed the way business is being done, it's changing how we do business. I'm looking at, you know, some stuff that Nikki's doing. I'm looking at some stuff that Josh is doing, and it's making me do things that I wasn't even thinking about doing before. It's making me think about my ideas and writing ideas down and getting up every day and making sure that I'm following through on those ideas, looking at the execution. So I'm saying when you change your environment and get around, you know, people who are doing what you want to do, it just sparks you, man. It's like, I'm not saying competing in terms of like, you know, trying to be better than nobody else, but it's just when you get in certain environments, man, it just makes you want to do better, to be better, to think better, to speak better. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being real, y'all. You don't have to be deep to be deep. But if you just get around deep people, you get around people who doing deep stuff. If you around it long enough, like I can't pretend I'm an expert, you know, in finances, but I can tell you this, since I've been around people who think different about money, bruh, I remember, you know, one environment I used to be in, people used to be like, I can't wait until I make 6 figures or 7 figures. Then I got in another environment, I remember people saying, I can't wait till I save 6 figures, 7 figures. I'm like, unbelievable. And then I remember those same people saying, man, you got to learn how to live off of 30% of your income. I'm like, live off 30%? I was in an environment that you spend 100% of what you make. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not deep, but when I got around people who were doing certain things, just being competitive, I got in that environment and was like, oh yeah, we making 6. Oh, now we saving 6. Oh, now we living off 30% of our income. Okay, well, I need to change this, and do that. And then, man, I woke up, and being in that environment, I am able to, I'm not them, but I'm able to replicate some of the things that they've done in my own life.
Hey, so
And how long?
I was gonna say, see,
Oh,
the
go for
take
it, bro.
home message. No, I was just gonna jokingly say, but the take home message is instead of making your New Year's resolution for you, just get around people that's making a similar resolution, or people who are already dominating that area. That's your
Yep,
resolution.
That's
exactly. Yep.
it.
Get in that
Yep.
That's
group.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to get nobody with nobody who making the resolution too, because y'all might fall off the
Right,
path.
right, right,
Because
Together
I
in
right, right.
guarantee you,
February.
homegirl at the gym, she been there for 5 years straight every single
Yep.
day. It ain't no resolution for her. It's a
Nope, it's
way
a
of life.
lifestyle. Yep.
And so, yeah, so when you get around her, and Josh, maybe you could hit on real quick, because there's people out there going, all right, cool, but I'm looking at my circle of influence. I got my family, my friends. Josh, what have you done, or what's worked for you in the past in terms of upgrading your circle of influence, whether it be through business or health or, you know, marriages or whatever? How, you know, if we're around a bunch of, let's just say somebody's, you know, struggling with their marriage out there, they're listening to us right now, and they literally want to change that, and they want to get better, and they want to whatever, but, you know, they're around other toxic relationships and they don't have that circle of influence right now. What suggestions do you have for somebody who's saying, yo, nobody in my circle, you know, is a good husband, or nobody in my circle really, you know, works out like that, or, you know, grinds as an entrepreneur? Like, how do they upgrade their circle, like tangibly? I don't want to, you know, just tell people to do it and then they're looking like, okay, I'm looking around, I'm in the same environment. Like, how do they physically change their environment?
Yeah, you know, that's a great question. See, you know, in business, in life, I don't know one successful person that hasn't made new relationships, built new networks, and when they do that, there's certain people that don't come along for that ride, right? So when they're hanging around the people they've grown up with, or the people that aren't doing anything, whether it's business, finance, whether they're trying to stop drinking and the rest of their crew drinks. You just said it. There's no way to not drink if everyone in your crew is drinking, but you have to get around a new group of people. You have to network. You have to put yourself out there. You have to want more. You have to work for more. You have to go to new functions where people that you don't know are. You have to find people that you look up for and call and ask them if you can come and hang out with them. You have to really put yourself out there. You have to. It's not going to come to you. So that's the biggest thing that I see people say. Well, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything right. I work hard. I'm a good husband. I'm this. I'm that. But my environment's not changing. That's because your environment's not changing. You're around the exact same people every day. The people you work with, the people you live with, and it's life. You just start to settle for whatever you're around. It just becomes you, and so it gets hard. It gets hard at times because the higher you rise in life, the higher you rise in organization, the higher you rise, the lonelier it gets because there's less people that are there for that ride. So it actually gets lonelier to rise in an organization, become a leader. It gets lonelier as your finances grow because your circle gets smaller. Now, it gets a lot more fun in certain areas, but you're probably not going to have 500 friends that you run with when you have $1 million in the bank. But you probably have 500 friends you can run with when you're all broke because you're all standing around doing nothing together.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm thinking of, like, for real, when we talk about tangible information, I'm thinking about what you told Chris on the phone that day. Josh was like, yo, what charity do you like? Like, what charity are you a part of? And he's like, oh, well, I'm not sure, And he was like, well, go down and find out what charity you like and find out what charity some of the people you'd like to network like, and go down there and go to an auction or go to a fundraiser or whatever and start introducing yourself to new people. And I'm sitting here like, wow, like that is tangible, something tangible that you can do right away. You don't have to wait. And the crazy thing is, quit being so scary, man. So many people are like, oh, that person wouldn't want to talk to me. That person wouldn't want to hang out with me. I love it. For whatever reason, whatever position we're in now, people are always like, oh, see, I know you don't have time to talk to me. I'm like, of course I got time to talk to you. Like, people are not as self-centered as you think they are. And if they are, cool. You miss, you strike out on a couple. Oh, well, if they want to act like that, let them be. But you need to upgrade. Like, just call it. Can we do lunch? Can we do this? Can we do that? Like Josh said, put yourself out there. Find a new environment. And if you find that new environment, I promise you can go to that next level. So, yeah.
I was just gonna add one thing. Every successful person has gone through some sort of trials, right? Whatever success is for you when you're around successful people. But that person, from whatever trial they've gone through, they have a soft spot for someone similar going through that same trial.
That's a good one, Josh.
So you take E being homeless, right? E is forever gonna have a soft spot for the homeless youth because that's built into him. There are certain things that I reach farther down the ladder to help people that have had who've had parents that have been in prison, right? That's a soft spot for me. So when I see someone that has a similar story, I want to help that person. So they may look successful and almighty to you today, but at the core, they want to help because they know exactly what you're going through if you're the right person to help.
Yeah, that's good. I was going to add, see, just where you went going practical, I was going to say, just find those non-threatening places. Go to the gym on the other side of town. Don't go to the one in your neighborhood. Like, literally, I started going to the gym here, and I'm telling you, I met a police officer. I met a dude that's a masseuse. So my man does like 3 or 4 clients a week, and that's all he does. He making good money. Like, I'm just saying, expose yourself to different things. You don't have to go to the same spots. Go to a church on the other side of town. Like, these are non-threatening places that people are more open to talk to you, more open to share. And you just start becoming a part of that community. Like, you just got to do something physically different. You can't keep, and C and Josh both said it, but I just wanted to add something practical. You can't keep going to the same places doing the exact same things. Find those non-threatening places that you can meet. My man Richard, go to the gym with us. My man cooks at the mall. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm meeting a bunch of different people in a bunch of different industries. If we ever need something catered, I could call my man up. You know what I'm saying? So just find different places, and those relationships are the key to you changing those habits.
Love it, guys. That's great information. Real quick, because we got a ton to ask ET. And there's questions for everybody in there. And I've been trying to get to these, and people always hit me, oh, you're going to answer my questions. So we'll try to get to as many as we can. But before that, I said I had a couple direct things that I wanted from the three of you. I want to know one thing business-wise and one thing personally that you've learned from the year 2016 that you're either going to take into 2017 or something you're going to leave in 2016. But a lesson from both business and personal from each of you that you're looking forward to implementing in 17. So I don't care who starts, but I did have that, and I wanted to, usually I don't pre-plan a whole lot, but I did want to ask that and see what you all are taking out of your year. So whoever wants to start, go for it.
Yeah, I'll start. See, so for me on the personal level in 2016, I learned that time flies. I've got a 10, a 7-year-old, very active, a family that's active, and I've learned that the older I get, the faster time moves, and that I need to make sure that I cherish the time that we have, because before I know it, my daughter's going to be 18. So I've really 16 on a personal level was a huge wake up call to me, because the world kind of slowed down and sped up at the same time. I did a lot of reflecting, but I also realized how fast it was, and I can't believe 2016's over. It literally feels like it just started, and I'm seeing physical change in my family and my kids, and they're just turning into these great young adults, and I'm realizing I'm not going to have them at home forever. And so on a personal level, it's just to max out these next 10 years while I have Berkeley and Hudson at home, or one or the other, and be the father that I've always tried to be, and then put that even on another level. And on a business level, I've learned that there are a ton of opportunities in this world, but they're not all good opportunities. And you are better from a business standpoint to be happy than be successful, and you can be both. But many people chase the money. See if anyone attended one of the events. You say at every event, my buddy got involved in network marketing, so I got involved. He was killing it. I didn't make $5. That's because we talk about it, and you talk about it, and you beat it over everyone's head. But the self-assess. But you have to, in the business world, find a place where you can be happy and very, very passionate, or else when times get hard, you're not gonna want to push through that gear that you need to. And so really, for the business standpoint, it flows a little bit to the personal standpoint, but just getting a state where you're happy, you're excited, and you're ready to rumble every single day is very important to taking on a vision that's as grand as the ETA.
Yeah, well, why would you say that, Josh? Why would you say, like, what's the connection? So I'm hearing you saying, consistently be happy, but what's the connection between being happy, staying upbeat, and having this monstrous vision?
Yeah. So I think everyone probably hears this and thinks, okay, so you're happy all the time. And that's not what I mean. I mean happy to take on the challenges, happy to see the monstrous vision, because it's hard. Everyone thinks a business is easy. Any business is going to be challenging. And if you're not happy and excited to tackle those challenges, you just won't do it. Say it's a marathon, you'll get to mile 23, but you won't hit mile 26. You'll cramp up and fall over. And so you have to be in the right state of mind to tackle the problems, the challenges, and find the solutions to take something to the next level. And you only do that if you are in love with the process, not the end result, because you're going to be stuck in the process much more than you're going to be stuck in the end result.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. I guess I got a segue into that, because for me, the first one, Josh, for business was, just survive. Just survive. And if you looked at us, as a team, we've been together, since 2000, maybe 7, 8, and really kind of got going, a year or so after that in terms of our own personal stuff. And man, Josh, collectively and individually, we have survived and advanced, and I just think there's so many people, Josh, who are, I got to get this business plan, and you do, but I think everybody, Josh, at some point has a business plan. I think everybody has a bank account. I think everybody has, gone down to, the courthouse and had to, complete some paperwork and some documentation. Most people have a website or a business card or a cell phone, but most people haven't survived, Josh, that stuff you're talking about. They haven't been able to get through all of the challenges. You know what I'm saying? Like, they haven't been able to survive. So one of the things I just want to say, one of the things, for me is just like, every year we just got to survive. We've got about 500 videos now. Just because we survived year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, we got past a lot of stuff, and I'm just saying, guys, if you can survive, I don't think the number one team is always the number one team. Sometimes the number one team has injuries, Josh. Their number one player is hurt. for a month, and they got to try to win without that person. Or in our case, we lost three. We had two guys we've lost for the entire season. One of our better players is, maybe be out 3-4 weeks. So I'm just saying survive, because if you can survive, you become attractive. If you can, 1896, and I think that's why people do that, Josh. Since, we're family business since 1932, and you look at a company differently that's been in business since, the 1915s. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, wow, they've survived. How many depressions is that? How many wars was that? How many whatever, even us, and I'm joking, but we were in New Zealand when there was a earthquake and a tsunami. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, we've been, I've survived some tornadoes, in Alabama. My house, was totaled, by, just a tornado. It's just like so much stuff has happened, and we've been able to survive in advance. So I just want to say that's the first thing I've learned. Nobody ever talks about, at these conferences, Josh, surviving, and advancing. Everybody's talking about your marketing strategy or networking or, whatever, communicating effectively. What's your business model? But a part of your business model needs to be able to, every year, you still standing, that no matter what, and I think number two for me, Josh, and I hope people can hear this, is the competing interest, man. I think good people finish last, or good people, get divorced or separated or lose their companies because of, competing interest. And by that, I just mean sometimes in life, Josh, it's the good, 5 goods that will destroy you because you're kind of like paralyzed, or you're giving too much energy to this and not enough energy to that. And one of my favorite games as a kid was Stratego. And, it was kind of like a military type board game. And you had like maybe a marshal, a general, a captain, a lieutenant, sergeant, like a spy. You had bombs, the flag, and each man was worth something different, so you put up your 4 against a 1 and lose your 4, and I've learned in my life, especially this year, I had to go back, when Dee Dee first got sick 3 years ago, Josh, of course it was an emergency, so I stopped everything. But I found myself this year, Josh, having some struggles with competing interest, and by that I mean, I might have somebody who I met at a conference who was struggling, call me at 2:00, whereas that was my lunchtime with Dee Dee, or my time I would eat with Dee Dee. And I had to say like, yo, Edie's a competing interest, but in the game of Stratego, the 10 doesn't beat the 1. The 1 beats the 10. And it doesn't mean that the 10 is not significant. It doesn't mean that person you met on the road isn't, a valuable person, who you need to pour into. But you can't pour into that person at 132. That's you and Dee Dee's time. And so you just got to shut the whole world out, during that time. And I had to realize, Josh, that to go from good to great is saying no to those interests that fall in category 10 or fall in category, 8, what I'm saying? And I had to protect the 1s in my family, the 2s, if C called me, it's like, yo, let me stop what I'm doing. All right. Or Dee Dee, is it all right to answer this call? Or C, I'm with Dee Dee at lunch right now. I'm gonna hit you right back. And right after lunch and we get home and she takes her nap, like, all right, see what's going on. And I found, Josh, that I was giving the 10s some of the 1s time. And I was giving the 8 some of the 2s time. And I had to realize, like, yo, competing interests, like everything you do eat at this level is good. You're not doing a whole lot of bad stuff. But you can't let the 10 get in the way. And the 10 would be upset sometimes. The 10 would be like, yo, I didn't hear from you in November and December. I know you didn't. But it's the holidays, and it's time for me to lock down. I poured a lot into the world. Now it's time for me to refuel myself. It's time to push that refresh button. It's time to make sure I exercise. I'm eating right. I'm spending time with my mom. My sisters came up, a lot more. My father, Dee Dee, the kids were out of school. So that, to me, Josh, that competing interest, that's very important. And I had to just start realizing that the 1 needs to get his time, the 2s, the 3s, because what happens, Josh, if you make all this money and you lose your 1? You know what I'm saying? What happens if you're traveling all over the world and you're helping people, but then you lose your marriage, and you lose your relationship with your kids? And as a company, we even had to do it. I took the whole squad to Australia. Like, let's take our wives, and we have gone to the movies and we've gone out to eat. Like, this has been the month where I might have been with Carl and Tamisha more than before, CJ and Candace, where you came up, Josh, with Carl, with CJ and spent time with them, so it's like, yo, November, December, I had to say, yo, I gotta cut, not cut off forever, but I gotta cut off a little bit of the 10s and the 12s and the 11s and the 8s, and I gotta really pour into the 1s and the 2s and the 3s, so that when the new year comes, I can still have them, in my life. So for me, man, that's what I'm learning. Competing interest, make sure you prioritize, and take care of what you need to take care of, because I hate to say it, but there's a million 20s, there's a million 15s. It's not a lot of 1s, it's not a lot of DDs, it's not a lot of Jalen and Jadas, it's not a lot of ETAs, and I gotta make sure I take care of what I'm supposed to take care of, so that the things that I love and cherish the most can be there for a lifetime, or at least in my lifetime.
So I'm gonna take where you left off, Ian. Go off a slightly different direction with the 10s and the 1s. But for the business, mine is simply getting the right people in the right place. And I'm gonna call a couple names so y'all on the line can understand where I'm going. So I'm gonna start, of course, with Josh, and the value that Josh, just a matter of months having Josh with us, the value that is added to the company is unreal. Nicole, unreal. Marshall, unreal. These are people that just happened to come into our circle. The last couple, for Josh, a couple years, the others a couple months. And I'm telling you, the difference that it has made in our organization is, phenomenal. So on a business level, and the role that I play in the company is kind of, multiple things going on at once. So the fact that I have people now that I can rely on, like competent people that I can rely on, that I don't have to look back and say, did you, man, can you, it's gone. Like the way Nicole is handling things right now, like she's ahead of me. She's coming back to pull me up. Latoya, the way they're handling things, Cameo, like literally, they're pulling me up to speed. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm being real with you guys. Like, the Breathe University was an idea in E's head. Like I sat online and put the whole thing together, the pieces together. We got Brandon's team to come help. And now I'm catching up to people on Breathe University. They've taken this thing on and owned it in such a way that I don't even understand some of the, the back end stuff anymore. In a system that I helped to create, I don't understand the stuff. So it's just huge. And I'm saying that's not a problem. Hear me closely. That's not a problem. It's actually great that I don't understand. I don't have to, because we got the right people in the right places, man, doing what they do. So from a business perspective, that's huge. Get the right people. Your business is only as deep, your church organization, whatever, your team is only as deep as the people on it. So you get those right people in the right places, and I guarantee you some championships are coming your way. On a personal level, man, it's just controlling what you can. And it sounds simple, but the personal thing for me was believing. Like, that's the word, like just believing. I read a quote that said, you can't prevent birds from flying over your head, but you can prevent them from building a nest. You can't prevent birds from flying over your head. They're going to fly overhead, but you can prevent them from building a nest. And my thing to that is like, yo, nobody could control what I believe. I'm the only person that has control out of that. And what I've seen in my life is my family. Like, my family is what I believe it could be. My home is what I believe it could be. You guys just saw us got this car. I didn't get the car because I just got the car. I believed that I could get that car first. And I'm just saying, man, the belief for me is the hugest thing, because that is the thing that decides how far you go, how much energy you put into it, how long it lasts. It's what you believe. So on a personal, it's just at the end of the day, like, Carl, you make sure you believe bigger than anybody else could even, like, ain't nobody else got to be a part of this. You believe the biggest thing could happen, the best thing could happen, because the flip side is it can't happen until you believe it.
Hey Carl, quick question for you. So you deal with more, or have in the past, more of the day-to-day ETA tasks than anybody else. So as you have someone like a Nicole come along, what is the benefit when you get someone that adds value first, instead of comes to you and says, I can do a service for you if you compensate, or if you do this? What is it when someone shows up and they just kind of go to work and add value without you even knowing what they're doing?
So what it does is what we were talking about a little earlier. I'll tie it back in. But what it does, Josh, to be direct with you, is it shows me who you are as a person. And it shows me that I really can't, like, it's put me in a position now where I really can't operate without you. So understand what I'm saying. I really can't operate without you when you add that kind of value to my life. You've become invaluable to me. There's no price that I could put on that. You've taken, like I use the analogy with the media team all the time. I've just given you my son, and you took care of my son almost as good as I could, or better. I ain't perfect. So you've just taken my kids, you know what I'm saying? My family. I've put that in your hand. My baby, I've put it in your hand. And when I came back, my baby's looking good. It's rosy. It's doing exactly, better than I thought I could have done it. So you have become invaluable to me. There's no price I can put on that. So guess what? I am never going to jeopardize that. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I keep you around. It may not be financial, whatever I can do. If it's financial, I'll do that. If it's whatever, time, if it's whatever I have to do, I'm going to find a way to do that, because you are not going to leave my life. Not with the value that you add. You are not going to leave my life. So I don't care what it looks like. We're going to find a way to make sure you continue to be able to add that kind of value to me. And I want to top it. Like, that's y'all know us at ETA. We are trying to outgive whoever you are. So when we find people like that are like almost topping us in giving, oh, we know it's for life. Like, it's not going anywhere, Josh. I hope that answers your question. It's not going anywhere. I'm keeping you for life.
Yeah, guys, and I guess for me, man, I'm sitting here talking, and I probably already, gave mine away when I, talked about what the theme of the new year was going to be, but it's that stay ready, and so for me personally, I would say for sure stay ready. And the reason I say that is because, and obviously we named the 2017 theme Stay Ready. E talked about it, being ready for anything, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is, just being ready. And I think in 16, that's one of the things that I really picked up on and really took to heart was, be ready. We had a ridiculously scary situation when Avery was born. I talked about it on the podcast, and I still get kind of choked up when I think about it, but just like, you're not immune to, disaster. You're not immune to, and you don't want to be a hypochondriac or anything like that. But like, you have to be ready. Like, I look at E for real, and I, think about Didi getting MS. Like, they weren't planning on that, but yet they were ready for that. And so when I look at that, I'm like, if Candace got MS, would you just be able to, 1,000% like hit it running and have no issues, or would it break you? So I really do. Personally, I'm like, you got to stay ready. Like, you're not immune to, anything happening. And if you're not ready in every aspect of your life, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all of those things, if you're not ready, it can break you. And so, for me in 16, I think that's one of the valuable lessons I learned, not only from watching my big brother do it, but just from, going through it myself, and seeing, what happens when you are ready and what happens when you're not ready. I think that's huge for me. And then business wise, and they're gonna laugh at me, but I think that I've learned even more so in 16 that there's more than one way to skin a cat. And believe it or not, there were some things that I'm trying to pick my words carefully, because I know Carla E gonna dog me especially. There were some things that I kind of deferred on, a few things, maybe as in terms of like how the conferences went, or the structure of some things. I kind of deferred, and it worked out. Now, y'all know, probably pick up from, listening to the podcast, I don't defer a whole lot. And I don't, and it's not because I'm trying to be like, I promise you, and they know this, it's not because I'm like, I got to be right, and I want to be right. It's like, I care so much. Like, we had an incident at the last conference, and I promise you, they had to almost pull me off of somebody, just because, not because I'm trying to be self-centered or because I want things done my way, just because I care so much about the quality of work we do. I care so much about making sure that people get fed and the people get all the information they need, and that E is presented in the best light, and all of those things, that I tend to go overboard sometimes and just force what I think or what I know is going to work down everybody's throat. And this year, I don't know if they'll co-sign me, but I did. There was a few times I think I had to pull back, and I think even starting with Avery, and there was a couple times I didn't make it to the conference, and I might have to watch on FaceTime or whatever, just because we had that little week, 2-week window where little mama didn't want to come out, and things still went okay. And so I think in 17, for me, while I probably would never lose that aggressive nature that I have, I do understand that there is more than one way to skin a cat, and we can win a championship, with defense and rebounding, as well as shooting threes and playing wide open offense. Like there's more than one way to win the game, and I think that's something for me in 17 that I'm gonna take in business wise. Is like, yo, don't be afraid to defer and give the rock over from time to time. So I would say that's it for me, and I'm going to keep the segment moving so they don't have a chance to kill me over that.
Can we go back real quick? Just if you
Yeah.
don't mind. So I just wanted to say, Carl talked about being indispensable, and Carl, I wanted to help those other people because sometimes when you call names, and I know you're kind of, worried about calling names, Carl, but sometimes when you call names, I think, do me a favor, Carl, tell me what the fear is, because I want to make sure people learn. Why are you hesitant sometimes, Carl, to call names out?
Oh, it's simple, E. Just for the fact of, I'm saying it real. Other people might be salty. Let me just keep it real with you. There's some people that when I call this name, it could affect the relationship with somebody else. Like you ain't call my name, or you ain't call this other person name, or something like that. But there are people that just outright stand out, and there's nothing I could do about it. Like you stand out because of the value that you add. You know what I mean? So not saying that other people aren't helpful or they're not doing stuff, but let's just be real. Like I said, for me, the value that these certain people have added, like you can't, I can't go without it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't not mention it.
Yeah, and the reason why I said that, Carl, is because I want to make sure that the other group, gets it. And the word dispensable, able to replace, Carl, able to be replaced or done without. And I just want to make people understand that, like, it's not what people think. It's like, oh, favoritism. Like, oh, so you're going to call that person. What have I done? You saying I haven't done anything? But I think what people have to understand is you don't ever, CJ, want to put yourself in a position where you're replaceable. You understand what I'm saying? Where, yeah, you may do some things, but and again, because I just want to make sure as we're getting out of 2016 that people get it.
Now take your time with this, because this is real. Like, please take your time with that.
Yeah. There's some people, Carl, let's say that they do 5 or 6 good things, but then they turn around and do 4 or 5 things that tear down the 6 things that they did. You know what I'm saying? Like they build with one hand, they tear down with the other. So that's one group. Another group, Carl, when they do what they do, it's like average. It's like after you finish doing it, I got to come up behind you and clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you might have done, and again, I'm not calling out names, but because I don't remember the young lady's name, but I remember, Carl, you used to have some gentleman that used to work for you, do videos. Carl, by the time you had to clean up what they did, you could have just started it on your own.
From the beginning,
Yeah, you would have saved way more time just doing the beginning. Whereas I remember one young lady, and I don't remember her name, but I remember when
Jasmine.
she did it for you the first time. Say it again?
Jasmine.
I remember when Jasmine did it, you was like, yo, it's 85% done.
Oh.
And so to fix the 15%, didn't take you that kind of time, but somebody else might have done it. And you were just like, yo, like, I got to fix this. Like, I wasted more time doing it. And then there's one group, and it's no disrespect, they're just at a place where, they're just getting started, but they take so much, like they require so much time, and it's like, I look at those people when they call me and I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I know this is going to be a 15, 20-minute call. I don't have 15, 20 minutes. Like now we're going into consultation. Like this is what I do professionally. And so I can't pick up the phone because every time I talk to you, it's either going to cost me time or it's going to cost me money. And it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means you can be replaced, right? Whereas what Carl is saying when he mentioned, come on, Marshall Fox, like, I didn't even know the kids, Carl. I didn't even know who he was. I just heard like Yolanda say, hey, thank you in a post for doing my whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, oh, who is my man? You know what I'm saying? Then I see somebody else like, yo, Patrick Pete might be like, yo, Marshall, and I'm just like, who is this dude? And it became obvious that I never had a conversation with my man. I've never spent any time with my man, but the type of value that he's adding is unbelievable. And the quality of work that he's doing, Carl, blew my mind. So of course I found out who this dude is.
And speed.
I might have
Don't
talked
forget
to Nikki.
speed, because all of these pieces go together. And speed.
Oh, and speed, right, Carl. The quality of his work. And then the speed, like you said, in which he operated. Nikki, I talked to Nikki one time, when she first joined up or whatever, maybe once or twice. She had some concerns, and so I tried to walk her through it. I didn't hear from her again. Then before I know it, boom. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just saying, like the Jasmine that used to do photography for us, I didn't know who she was, but she was like, yo, let me come in, take pictures, whatever. And so I just want to make sure you're not on that victim thing when we go into 2017. If there are 5 people in my life, and out of those 5, Josh, I have to buy 4 of them something to eat every time we go out, I'm not mad at them, Josh. I don't have anything against them. But if the 4 of them, every time we go somewhere, I got to put gas in the car. Every time we go somewhere, I got to pay for it. But that 5th person is also making sure that, oh, let me eat. Let me grab you something to eat. Oh, eat. Let me get the gas for you. Oh, eat. I can drive this time. Josh, I don't have nothing against the 4, but who do you think I'm going to gravitate toward?
Yep. It's light and heavy, E. Light and heavy.
You see what I'm saying? It's not rocket science. I'm going to gravitate toward the person who's in a position to, and again, with Josh, that's why Josh, I'm not saying it's the only reason he's on the team, I'm saying, but we've had people who have asked us to do what Josh has done, and they sat down with us over lunch one time, and it was obvious, okay, we're going to get lunch once. What does that mean? Okay, we want this. What separated Josh was like, yo, for real, I'm not sitting here telling y'all that I'm a priest and all I want to do is work. No, I want to be compensated as well for the value that I bring. But long before I ask you guys for anything, for the course of the last 5 years, I'm going to add value. And so I just want to make sure, guys, for real, I want to sound like a broken record, but put yourself in a position, watch this, where you're not dispendable. Watch this, able to be replaced or done without. That's all I'm asking. Put yourself in a place where you're not the weakest link, on the squad, or you're not the individual that people can say, hey, we can do without. You feel me? And so, because nobody wants to be left out. Everybody wants to be a part. Everybody wants to be a part of something productive. Everybody wants to be on the team. Everybody wants to start if possible. But you can't do that if you're constantly taking, right? And it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a bad teammate. But the reality is there's some people in the NFL next year when they're not going to be on the team because they didn't contribute enough to be on the team, right? It is what it is. There's some people on teams now. Come All-Star break, as we get closer to the NBA Finals, there are going to be some people that are going to be traded, some people that's going to be let go because they do not add the type of value where that organization is fighting to keep them there.
Including coaches, E, not just players.
Absolutely.
Including coaches.
Yep.
So I just want to full circle it. See, I know you got to ask ET questions, but full circle
Absolutely.
back to what we were saying about, changing your circle. That's the key to changing your circle right there. I don't care who you get around. You add that kind of value to them. Like I say, the church, the gym, whoever, where you go. But you add some kind of value to their life that puts you in a place where you're not easily replaced. That's how you change your circle. That person is going to make sure they keep you around. And that's how you get around the people that are doing different things and are sharing different ideas, that kind of stuff. So just wanted to full circle that for our listeners.
Yeah, my bad, C.
Another way to upgrade your circle? Go to Penn State Online. Listen, man, Penn State World Campus, a world of possibilities online. Listen, man, one of the top programs online in the country. You need to check them out, man. They got admissions counselors on deck right now to help you figure out which degree program will be best for you. Give them a call at 800-245-5518 or visit them at www.worldcampus.pennstateuniversity.edu. Matter of fact, that's psu.edu. So worldcampus.psu.edu. Go check them out, man, for your degree program and upgrade your degree and then upgrade your circle, man. So shout out to Penn State for being a partner in the podcast today. We appreciate them. Go check them out.
Definitely appreciate
Let's jump into Ask ET because we running a little long, which I love it, though. It's quality information, so I'm definitely digging that. But we got a question in here. Oh, man, so many. Brandon in Denver, E, wants to know, if you could fix one weakness, what would it be and why?
Shoot, one, bro, I got so many. You know what I'm saying? Making me choose between, the two. I think B, if it's one, I was gonna say, like, you know, forgetting stuff, but I don't think that one bothers. I don't think that one affects, you know, people as much as, other stuff. But, I think one of the things for me is just like, I don't know how to say it, man, but there's some things that have affected me in my past, you know what I'm saying, that I have recognized, that I just need to just, just let it go. And not just, my father not being in my life. My mother and I was teasing the other day just about, a mate name is Craig, and just some stuff that I saw my little niece doing that was like, yo, that's some Craig stuff right there, in terms of our family and just, what we've been through, and so there's the one thing, man, that we have a challenge with, is when we get into, like I don't know what you want to call it, like a bad place with a person. I've had people who have, wronged me, or people who have, done things, man, to try to hurt the company, or made some terrible mistakes, in our relationship. And once I get crossed, it's kind of, I have to work, at forgiving that person and getting back to where we were and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Once you get, in that bad spot, bro, it's a weakness. You know what I'm saying? To say, I'm just thinking about some people right now that I was super duper close with. I mean, we were thicker than thieves, and an incident might have happened that I felt like, they didn't demonstrate integrity, or they didn't, care about the friendship. They crossed the line, and once you cross that line, like, it's hard to, once I put you in that category, it's kind of hard to come back from that. And I know I need to do a much better job. And I've attempted to do it, but I can be honest with myself and say, I know I'm not even that good right now. I might be average at best, with dealing with that. So that's probably something that I know it's a lot of people I was very close to that is on the outside now looking in, like, man, I remember me and E, what happened, why we not, so that's a weakness, man, that I definitely need to, try to conquer in 2017. And of course, I said a week or two ago that my sister is where I've started. You know what I'm saying? That's a place where we didn't necessarily have beef, but because we didn't have the greatest relationship, that thing in me was kind of like, oh, okay, well, bet. You know what I'm saying? We don't have it. I tried. It ain't working. Let me just, what I'm saying? It is what it is. And that's something that I need to really work on getting over.
No doubt. Sam in Indianapolis wants to know, if your house was burning down and you could only save one thing, not a person, pet, or a photo album, what would it be?
Oh, my wife has some birth certificates, warranties. You know what I'm saying? My wife got some paperwork that she thinks is valuable. And whoever asked that question is crazy, because I'll randomly think of that same thing. And I'm like, okay, you know where that stuff is, E.
That's because you almost burnt the house down a while back.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's what it was. Yeah. So it's constant. Every time I light an incense, it's on my mind. But yeah, Dee Dee's documentation, because if we got out the house without that, she'd be dead. So I have to make sure that she gets that. And then my son, man, he has, his grandma gave him, she used to work for a printing press years ago. And so he has like old baseball cards, old football card collection. I never talked about it because we never did anything with it, but his grandma gave it to him like back in, like, she started saving that stuff like in the 80s. And then when he was born, she always thought she would have a grandson. So when he was born, she just gave him all of her collection. So I would like to grab that too if I can.
No doubt. Next one's for Josh. Keith in St. Louis says, Josh, what are a few things you think of when deciding whether or not to pursue a new opportunity or business venture?
Give us something good,
question.
Josh.
Yeah, it's
Great question.
Yeah, great question. There's probably two main things. One, is it something that moves me, something that actually interests me and sparks. And then two, does it actually have a solid business plan? And I want to make sure, because E brought this up earlier. When I say solid business plan, I don't mean does it look good on paper. Right. Everybody's a spreadsheet millionaire. Right. The solid business plan is, do I believe in the person? Do I believe in the person? Yeah, everyone can punch a number in Excel. I mean, so
that's like a dollar millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's exactly.
These used to have dollar millionaires.
You got
I was definitely going to college.
No question. Dollar cheeseburgers. See, but then the other thing is, do that. Probably this is the most important thing when I'm looking at a business is do I believe in the team or the person that I'm going to go into business with? Is it people or a person that I want to go the distance with? And if it is a good product that moves me, that I believe is good for the marketplace, and I believe in the team or the people that are behind it, then those are really the only two things I need. I don't focus on the challenges that the business faces. I focus on the people.
That's good.
Love it. Liza in Philly, he said, "What's the last lie you told?"
Shoot. I don't know. 'Cause I try not to lie.
CJ, I didn't take your charger.
Oh, yeah, no, I never
Definitely
lied
the
about
last
that.
lie he told me.
No, y'all know, hey,
I don't know
y'all
about
know
what
one
you-
thing about me.
I don't know if you told any since then.
If y'all know one thing about me on this podcast, and these fellas know, I might take your stuff, but I ain't gonna lie about it. I ain't take it. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, I took it. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie about it for sure. We ain't gonna get in trouble twice. I'm trying to think though. See, man, believe me, y'all. I'm not saying I'm not a
Last lie you
liar.
told.
I just don't remember which. I probably told it so good. I probably didn't remember what it was.
Convinced yourself.
Yeah, you know
Now
what I'm
that's
saying?
a good lie when you convince
Yeah,
yourself.
that I did. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
I
No, don't
know,
worry
I'm
about it.
bad.
If you ain't
Yeah, I'm
got it, we'll
sorry.
come back to
Yeah,
it in a
I'm
later
sorry.
podcast. We got a bunch I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Chloe in Phoenix said, if you could live in any TV show, past or present, which one would you choose?
Man, for me, man, it'd
got
be
some
a
good
different
questions.
world. Yeah, it'll be a different world, man. Because I was actually, I actually believe one of the other reasons I went to college was because of that show. And when I saw one of these guys to go, it was like Martin, Fresh Prince, Cosby's in a different world. And I was just like, I know a lot of people not up on a different world, but I was like, yo, that one cannot go for me because those guys, they modeled for me what I didn't see in Detroit, because everybody was working and these dudes was in college. So I would love, man, to be in a different world.
Hassan in Jersey said, if you didn't have the gift to speak or lead, what would you be doing for a living right now?
Teaching. I'd be a teacher.
All right, that was quick. Let's go see if we can get in one more. Let me make it a good one. We got a bunch here. Thank you guys for keeping the questions shorter for me this week. Michael in Cape Town said, what's one talent you wish you possessed that you currently don't?
Me?
You want to sing.
Yeah, Carl,
wanna
know
sing.
that. Definitely.
You want to sing so bad. Oh, man.
Yeah, me too, low key. Yeah. Either sing or play the piano.
I'll take either one.
I'm with you.
I'll
see,
take either
the
one.
piano. Yeah,
Carl can
I'm
do.
with
Carl
you.
like Prince. He can do all of them. So that's why he don't care about none of that singing stuff.
Well, I know Carl can play the piano. I ain't never heard Carl sing though.
Oh no, but he could play the piano. He could play the saxophone. He could play the drum. He could play the guitar. Yeah. He on that Prince level.
Hey, real quick, Zach in Louisville said, "Who do you trust with your life?"
Oh, you asking me that, C?
Yeah, I just want.
Oh, CJ. I trust CJ with my life.
My email up.
Yeah, I trust CJ with my life.
Yeah. Anybody else? Jalen?
No.
Oh man, y'all silly.
I don't trust Jalen with his
right,
life
man.
yet.
Yeah, hey, right. Don't trust him with his life.
Hey,
no
so let
doubt.
me, let me just say this real quick. Remember, I spent 7 intense hours, so I want you to change that question, C, and say outside of your wife, who would you change? Who?
Oh, I knew that's what you meant, though.
Yeah, I want that to be clear, though.
Hey, here's the deal,
I
though.
don't know if I trust. It depends though. Like if it's like some rough stuff going on, I don't trust my wife with my life. You know
No,
what I'm
but here's
saying?
the
Like,
deal, though. See,
I want a bruiser with me. I need a brawler. You know what
hey,
I'm
here's the
saying?
deal, though. See, I feel
My wife-
comfortable. I feel comfortable saying that because Dee Dee don't listen to the podcast, so I'm good.
That's why.
Oh yeah, no doubt. No, and I told you, Candace ain't listening as a fan. It's all fact checking. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no kind of fandom going on. She like, you said you need to do a better job with taking me out. When does that begin? So yeah, no, it's all up, man. Real quick, plans for the new year. What y'all got going on? What's the y'all partying, y'all hanging? What's going on for the new year? How we bringing in 2017 before we get out of here?
The whole weekend is a blast for me, man. Little man's birthday is Friday, so we just gonna do no official plan yet. We still in Lansing, so it ain't a whole lot of sweet options, but just
Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese, right? Just celebration mode, man. Like, just making sure we enjoy every moment. I let all my guards down, see, for these little holidays. The kids went to sleep by themselves. I'm like, just here go a mattress Y'all turn the TV on, iPad on. Let's just enjoy time together. No fussing, no fighting. So the plan is just to enjoy, just celebration mode, man.
Watch night for me, you know how it is. I give my whole, life and my time to, the world as a whole. But my church is on New Year, like lock it down. You know what I'm saying? So church, we'll eat, we'll do church together, we'll eat, and then we'll play games or whatever, and then, spend time together as a church. And my family, immediate family, moms will come down, my sister, my little niece, maybe my father, and then, my family and my church family, which is really my family, Arringtons and just everybody, man. So that's probably what I'll be doing, and hopefully I'll be up for when the ball drop. Y'all know me, 9:30, 10, I'm here.
I'll record it for you.
Yeah, please record it, Carl.
Yeah, we're just going to lay low. We were on the road for about a week straight right before Christmas Eve for some sporting events for the kids and the album release party. So we're going to lay low and just taking the new year as a family.
Yeah, same here, man. Shout out to my folks who are down here, man. And I instantly turned into the worst parent in the world. My mom and dad hold down the fort. Mom's cleaning, pop's cooking, they taking care of the babies, they doing bath time, brushing teeth, everything. And I literally, man, just get a chance to chill out. It's a fantastic time. There's a team that name begins with an L that has a big game on Sunday night. I will not say the full name of the team, but it begins with an L. They got a chance to win the division. Even though they got blew out by the Cowboys, they got a chance to win the division. So I'm going to sit back and let my heart get broke Sunday night. And,
hey, at least it's at night. You can go to bed after.
Hey, I'm gonna be ready to start the new year. Like with every year. You know what I'm saying? Disappointed as a fan of the L's. Maybe it's an apropos that they begin with an L. Since they take so many
L's.
Man. Hey, real quick, I guess I didn't really ask y'all explicitly. Do y'all have any resolutions? I got a resolution for the new year.
I think if there's anything,
I do everything so perfect already. Anyways, like what could you possibly be?
Yeah, no, I think for me though, it's the stay ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that what I've done, I'm being real. Like, I'm not laughing, playing y'all. I've done a much better job of being consistent from January to December in terms of my health goals and working out. And just really like now making that commitment. Like, how you do something and you you doing it and you being consistent with it, but you haven't necessarily made a commitment to it. I think that was me this year. Like, I definitely, multiple days did, my 10 miles, 5 run, 5 walk, did 7 miles. You know what I'm saying? I was very consistent this year, but I didn't go all in. I was probably like 89%. And for me, I think I want to go all in and like stay at a certain place. I kind of went up and down with my weight. You know what I'm saying? 2 or 3 weeks on, a week or so off. And I just want to make it this year from January all the way to December. And I'm proud of myself. Like, I'm not, down on myself or nothing like that. But I want to make this year the year where I'm like, yo, E, from January all the way to December, you make it a lifestyle now and not an event or something that you feel like, because you know how you'd be like, all right, I need to lose 10 pounds. And you might lose the 10. All right, I need to do this. And you might do it. But then once you get there, what is it? Like the level of energy isn't the same because you got to that goal. Like, I don't want it to be about goals this year or events this year. I just want to be consistent because my health is a goal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, mine may sound weird to some people, but y'all know me, I'm a workaholic, man. It's something in my DNA that just, like, I can't turn it off. So it's actually to work less this year, to be honest, like be more balanced. It's just a continuous thing for me just to be focused more on, other things. Of course, the company's like, top priority in my life, but I still got my family, and I've done way better this year, way better. I've come a long way, but there's still always some growth with that, man, to make sure, like Josh said, I got probably less than a year before Jordan is up out the house. We've been keeping them at home, but, school going to be starting in a minute for my man. So I just want to make sure, everything is locked in. And I can balance out that time a lot more, like he said, including some health stuff in there. The accountability is there for us. I don't even really make that a priority because like he talking about it every day. I'm pressured to do something every now and then. But yeah, just that balance, man. Just work less, but be more effective in working less. You know what I'm saying? Not just being a slouch, but work less but smarter.
Well, Josh will help you with that.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
doubt.
yeah. For me, mine, it breaks down to probably, it breaks down to a lot of resolutions. But mine is just to be better, better than last year, better as a husband, better as a father, better as a business person, just to be better than I was in 2016.
It's gonna be hard,
no,
Josh.
for me, man, last year, I don't know if anybody remembers, but I did patience. It was something that I really wanted to work on. And this year, I honestly, I did, 365. I did try to work on it, even, all the way up and through the last few weeks, man, where some, like I said, we had some challenges and wanted to, as much as I can, stick true to that for 365 this year. I'm thinking, I'm still kind of working on it, but I think I'm going to commit to writing more. I think I self-assessed and think I'm a decent writer. And sometimes, man, you can't get all your thoughts out talking. Sometimes, like for me, it works better to actually sit down with and write, type, whatever that is. And so I want to start doing more of that. I did, commit to doing a lot more reading and, studying last year, but I didn't write a whole lot. And so I'm going to hopefully write a lot more than I have been. So that would be it for me. Man, so other than that, we got the nugget of the day. Man, I don't even want to get off of here, man. It's like the last one of the year. It's like I don't want it to end, but yeah, we got to get to the fams and the squads, man. I love you guys, man. Thank you guys for an awesome year. It's been great working alongside of you guys. Not only, just, while we are out at the live events and things like that, but the podcast, all the stuff we did for the album, everything, man. It's been an incredible year. 2017 from ETA, guys, is going to be insane. We got the marriage stuff coming up, which is going to be just off the chain, starting February 12th in San Diego. Check that out. Breathe University, of course, is going, up every single day. We got the new book coming out, just all kind of stuff. So 2017 is going to be, again, monumental for us. So from my team to your team and your family, thank you for listening. Thank you for checking out the podcast each and every week. Thank you for writing those reviews. This is an entire year of doing the podcast now, guys, and it's been phenomenal. It's been fun. You guys' feedback, your questions, all of that has been amazing. To everybody who sponsored the podcast, including today's sponsor, Penn State. We just thank you guys, a million times over for believing in us and allowing us to be a part of your life. So with that being said, the nugget of the day is brought to you by Penn State. Visit worldcampus.psu.edu and go finish up that degree. Go get that degree at one of the best institutions in the world. ET, get us out of here on that nugget of the day.
Yeah, guys, just nothing deep, y'all. Just do me a huge favor. I know we got a lot of living to do, but in all the living, guys, don't forget the loving. Don't get so bombarded with the cares of life, that you forget to love. Don't get so caught up, working, guys. It's like, for real, some spouses look and say, why do we even get married? You work so much that we don't have time, for us. We don't have time for our dreams and our goals and our family. Some kids come in the world and say, why did you even have me? Like, you working so much, you grinding so much that you don't have time for us. So guys, definitely, we talk about, I grind on Monday, I grind on Tuesday, I grind, but understand what we mean. We mean that, when you're working, give it 120. But you can't work all the time. It doesn't make sense to be married. It doesn't make sense to be a father. It doesn't make sense to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? If all you're doing is grinding, don't forget who you're doing it for. But more importantly, don't forget to spend time with the ones you claim you're doing it for. And so I don't know what the balance is in your life. But what I am telling you is, don't forget the loving part. Don't forget to spend time with your kids. Don't forget to spend time with your spouse. Don't forget your mom, your dad, your siblings. Like, don't forget to go to the movies or, go to lunch or go to dinner. Don't forget, the board games, the Uno, the Monopoly. Don't forget to rent that movie. Don't forget to take that trip. So do yourself a favor. Yep. Keep on living, and, live the best life you can live. If you can have the house and the car and the, whatever your dreams are. But don't forget the people who are in your dreams. And don't just make them objects. Love on them. Give them their due time and show them their due affection and say the positive words and affirm them. Whatever it is they like to do. But for real, don't live so much that you don't have time to love.
Love it. Appreciate it, man. Happy New Year, everybody. Go check out that album, The Resolution. Go get it. Carl, man, thank you, man, for your production on this podcast all year. Josh, appreciate you, man. Love you. You guys have a wonderful New Year. We will see you in 2017. We out.
Dream.